Welcome to Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Beautiful shot there of a muley in the snow here from this past weekend. We have some other great photos to show you this morning. In the meantime, though, less about snow and more about a little bit of a warming trend coming our way, as temperatures will be on the mend, rebounding as we get through the next several days here through Saturday. So basically, temperatures in the way up for most of you over the next 4 days here. We're going to see some Pacific moisture get into the mix. We showed you this yesterday. We'll show you this again today, that we do have a fetch of subtropical moisture coming up out of the eastern Pacific off the coast of Mexico northward into the western United States. So it's just not simply just a warming trend. With high pressure, there's a little bit of moisture to throw into the mix. The next storm system with colder temperatures and chances of mountain snow returning, that's coming late this weekend and early next week, followed up by another system right around the 15th, 16th of the month. So those two systems will be kind of a 1-2 punch from late this weekend and then about a week from this Wednesday. When we take a look going backwards a little bit into late last weekend, this past weekend, we all know about that front and the storms and the mountain snow and the hail. Well, here's a great shot here near Farson as that storm system came through with those very low, dark-looking clouds that brought all that weather. And here's the end result of that. After seeing what was moving into the Wind Rivers on Saturday there near Farson, there's the end result. Beautiful shot of snowfall in the mountains. Here's a shot from the webcam at High Country Lodge in the northern Bighorn Mountains. You look at that shot, you would think that was maybe right out of January. Brr, look at that. Beautiful shot out of the Badlands of South Dakota. And another shot of some fresh snow, this time in Rocky Mountain National Park. The fall colors there above and near the Estes Park area. Look at this. The cranes are migrating. Chad's sending us photos of thousands of cranes moving across northeastern Wyoming yesterday, putting on quite a display. So they are probably knowing something that we don't, I guess. I don't know. This is a really good, impressive migration moving on through. Then we've got the super moon, the harvest moon, the hunter moon out, putting on quite a show here over the last couple of nights, last night included. Beautiful shot there over the Wind River Mountains near Pinedale and all the way down into the Superstition Mountains of Arizona. Then another shot of beautiful fall colors in the Sierra Nevada near McGee Creek, California. So just a time of year where you have this variety for your eyes to feast on, whether it's fresh snow on the mountain peaks or some fall colors still hanging on. Hanging on is some cold air here along the front range of Colorado into northeastern New Mexico. The blue here, upslope low stratus clouds behind the weekend storm system in front that has sent some colder air out of the plains south into the southern plains, making for some colder weather. But you can see all the clear skies here from California into the interior west and the Great Basin. So this is going to be an area of high pressure and just warmer, drier air coming on in. Now, if we were to zoom out the satellite imagery a little bit more, here's Hurricane Priscilla. Here's the remains of a tropical storm over here. So all of this is trending this way. And moisture, you can see the bands of moisture here, is increasing and moving to the north and then curving to the northeast in the days ahead. So at 500 millibars, it looks like this. Here's your gap, the fair weather coming on in, the backdoor cold front coming into the southern plains. As you can see, the trough axis right here. Then if we look at where we're going to be on Friday, we see that the low that's in British Columbia, the Northwest Territories this morning, by Saturday slides south-southwestward to be off the coast of Oregon. By Friday at noon, high pressure builds in, but this little dimple in the flow is the moisture in the remains from Priscilla heading into the southwestern United States. So yes, we just have basically your post-frontal high pressure ridge coming in to give us rebounding temperatures and fair weather, but moisture is going to get drawn in. If we look at where we're going to be noon today with precipitable water, you can see the brown, the dry air behind the storm system, that clear weather I showed you on the satellite imageries here in the brown. But here's the cool, moist air coming down south into New Mexico, the panhandles in southeastern Colorado in the upslope. And over time, as we project from today all the way up to the beginning of the weekend, we see that precipitable water come up from Mexico here into California, goes through the desert southwest. You see all that purple? That purple, you're getting into the water content of the air, in some areas over 300% of the average amount of water that's in the air for this time in October. So you have to remind yourself that, well, it's October, so this isn't like 300% in July or August. Nonetheless, it's impressive. And as we showed you yesterday, this is going to result in areas of rain and thunderstorms across Arizona, far southern, the deserts of California, into the Great Basin. This is through Saturday evening, 6 p.m. So you're going to get showers and thunderstorms along the Pacific Northwest coast. And as that moisture comes up from the southwest, you're going to feed in some shower and thunderstorm activity. But with that will be some warmer temperatures. But look at that moisture here in the southern and southwest Colorado, into southern Utah, into the Grand Canyon area, into Phoenix, maybe into Tucson, and into New Mexico and the panhandles of Texas. So you're going to have kind of an interesting mix. We just got done with a cold front. Now we're going to have a warm up and some tropical moisture. Then we go back to a cold front. Kind of a lot of back and forth. And I think this is how October is going to go. Back and forth. Alternating periods of it being pretty nice, with these cold fronts coming out of the Pacific. And each of the cold fronts in succession gets a little bit stronger than the front ahead of it. So by noon Sunday, colder air will be intruding into the Pacific Northwest, into the northern plains and northern Rockies. The weekend probably starts off warm for most, ends colder Sunday. Then the next wave comes through, and this one needs to be watched because this one may end up coming a bit further south. That comes in around the 15th and the 16th of next week, bringing another shot of colder weather and precipitation for parts of the west. Have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.